we live? Is this thing on?
I don't know. Is it on?
I don't know. Is it JC? JC, are we live?
Are we here? Is it time?
I must be. I really.
It's got to be live. It says live with 14 seconds.
It's got to be live. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We got a very special Friday at the Disco, Friendship Friday. Happy May 24 to all of you beautiful American people who support my Canadian booty. Thank you guys for tuning in. I got two very special guests, two people who I consider family and really, really good friends. To my, is that my right or left? To that way, other way, yeah, that way. I got one of the founders of fantasy football, Greg Kellogg, one of the OGs of fantasy football. He's been inducted into the Fantasy Football Hall of Fame. He's a big deal. Everybody who knows anybody in fantasy football knows that whatever Greg says, we go. All right, and then under us, but a guy we hold very high in regard. That's my boy JC Money Design. There's nothing that he doesn't pump out when it comes to quality content. He does bets. He does best ball drafts. He does live viewing parties, watching his Minnesota Timberwolves, who are playing tonight. The Timberwolves are playing tonight. He's super happy. He's from Minnesota. Thank you guys for being here. I generally appreciate it.
Hey. Who's that handsome devil next to JC?
Oh, that's you.
I get double billing. Okay.
It's a beautiful picture. It's a great picture. But yeah, man, I'm super excited to have you guys here. The entire concept behind tonight's show, I want to take credit for, but I can't. It was Greg's idea, and he's like, well, I came on your show. It was kind of like an impromptu. He came on my show, and it was like an old school theology of how to draft fantasy football versus new school. I don't want to say I'm the guy who represents the new school because I've accomplished nothing in this field yet. But I do have that new school frame of mind. Greg definitely loves the old school approach, and we'll talk about what we're doing and where we're doing it at and how we're doing it. But first, I just wanted to ask. We'll start with you, JC. How's your day going, man? What are you looking forward to the most today on this live during this best ball draft?
What's up, everybody? Hey, I'm stoked, man. This is going to be a fun night. What I'm most looking forward to tonight is actually doing one of my first best ball drafts of the year. That's what I'm excited for. I have been so busy with everything that's been going on lately. I haven't even been able to get in and do some best ball drafts. It's time. I'm ready. I'm excited. This is kind of how I start prepping for it. Obviously I've been doing some dynasty stuff already, but what's next is redraft season. So this is kind of, best ball is my transition into redraft season. So I like to use best ball almost, live, because at least you get, the live act, what people are drafting around. I mean, it's a little bit different, obviously, because of point system and you're not having to go out there and use the waiver wire, but it's close enough to where I can kind of get that vibe of where people are drafting players, who people like this up higher or lower, where I can get guys at a good value. So that's what I'm most excited for, is drafting with y'all tonight and it being kind of my first or second, best ball start this year.
I don't know about you, Disco, but I'm most excited about spanking JC in the draft. That's what I'm excited about.
That's absolutely amazing. So I will say this, just to tail off of what you just said, JC, because I think you hit it on the head. Like best ball season, and I say this all the time, and I'll say it again. Best ball season, it's broken down into multiple seasons. I think there's 3 seasons for best ball season. There's post draft. We're getting questions saying queue up. So Greg, go ahead and queue up. Okay. And JC, go ahead and queue up. I'll go ahead and queue up. It looks like we got a fresh lobby here, so it'll give us plenty of time to talk theory. So let's queue up in the drafters main, the big tournament. I'm queued up. I'm in. Everybody else queue up, and then we'll get back to the point. Are you queued up, Greg?
I'm not sure. Use ticket for this entry.
Yep.
Join.
Yep. Good, you're in.
I think I'm in, yeah.
You're in. Perfect. Okay. Let's go back to this. Perfect. So are you in, JC?
I think so.
All right. It's at 7 out of 12. This is going to feel faster than I thought. So Real quick, just to go off basis off of what you said, I feel like it's broken down into 3 seasons here in best ball, and I think it's the best practice that you could possibly get for a redraft season because you following not necessarily all the trends, but you also know who's being pushed up, who's being pushed down, who you can get at a good value, who's really important. So, best ball tournaments from May all the way to September, and what we really focus on here in the big draft energy network is we want to keep on a pulse on what's going on, what's hot, what's not, who's up, who's down. So with that being said, if you guys are cool with it, I'd like to tell the folks who are just tuning in and hearing about best ball for the first time, I'd like to tell them what we're doing, where we're doing it at, and how they can do it too. Is that okay with you guys?
Go.
Okay, so right now we are queued up in the Drafters $1,000,003 Best Ball Championship. It's $2.5 million in total prizes, $500,000 to first place. It's total points format. It's PPR. Most points wins. It's best ball, weekly scoring weeks 1 to 17, 12-team drafts, fast and slow. It's a $15 entry. Once again, this is not a mock draft. This is a real money draft. This is why we're hyped. This is why we're here. Right, there's real money implications, and we'll get back to the real money implications because Greg is doing an absolutely phenomenal thing. It is best ball format, which in my opinion is the most convenient way for your draft. You have 20 rounds to fill your roster for depth. Each week, a starting lineup is composed of the following positions: 1 quarterback, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 1 flex. At the end of the week, the best overall performances on your roster will be submitted into your weekly matchups. No more leaving points on the bench, no more waiver wires, no more trades, none of that garbage. You literally just draft it and forget it unless you're winning a really, really, really ridiculous amount of money. So if you sign up today using promo code DISCO, yes, we changed our promo code. Sign up using promo code DISCO. We'll double your initial deposit, dollar for dollar, up to $100.
And I can verify it works because I put my money in today and got it doubled.
Yeah. So speaking of that, right, Greg, you have the most generous concept with your journey with drafters beginning today, right? Can you tell the folks what you plan on doing?
Yeah, I don't. I'm retired. I've got a good 401k, so I've got enough money. So my wife and I decided that if we win any money in this, it's going to fantasycares.org. Now, all you guys listening, you can donate to fantasycares.org on your own. Just go there and make a donation. This is affiliated with Scott Fishbowl, with the Fantasy Cares Eliminators. They raised $286,000 for charity last year. One of the big ones is Toys for Tots. My dad was a Marine. Toys for Tots is a Marine charity. So please go give any money I win. I don't care if I win the $500,000. I'm never going to see it because I've already made a deal with drafters. It will automatically go to fantasycares.org.
Which is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Super, super generous. Everybody just put a W, like a major big W, capital W in the chat for my man, Greg, because that's a big win. That's a big win.
Make that the contest. You're giving away a free ticket, right?
I'm giving away 2 because you 2 folks are on here. So because you guys are on here in such a special occasion, I'm definitely, we got some W's in the chat already for my man. Yeah, Greg Q, we're all queued. We're all in here, man. We're all in here.
I don't even know how to see that. I'm looking. I don't see that. So I just know that it says.
We're at, right now, we're at.
All I see is it says unregister fast draft or join.
We're at 10 out of 12. We're at 10 out of 12. So with that being said, okay, let's do what we came here to do. Okay, let's talk theory. Let's talk approach. Greg, you got an approach.
Let's talk about roster construction.
Yes.
Typically, in a 20 person draft, you're going to try to get 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 8 wide receivers, and 3 tight ends. Now you can vary on that. If you get 2 really good tight ends, you don't need a third. If you get 2 really good quarterbacks, you don't need a third. Problem is, what position gets injured more than any other in football? Quarterback. Get that third quarterback. You can vary your running backs. You can only start 3 in this format. So if you pay attention to bye weeks and you make sure that you have 3 or 4 top running backs, that's my strategy. It's a little different because I'm more likely to do 0 wide receiver than 0 running back, figuring I can get spike weeks from the 2nd and 3rd tier wide receivers down the road. But to get really good running back quality, you got to have top guys. So I load up early on running backs. We'll be doing a modified best ball for me, best player available. I'm going to get a quarterback and a running back and a wide receiver in the first 2 rounds. Then I'm going to get a tight end and a quarterback. And then after that, I'm going with best player available. But my roster construction, I'm starting off thinking 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends, and the rest split between running backs and wide receivers. And if I get 5 good running backs, I'm stopping at 5.
So you're going to go for 11 wide receivers.
But you never know how the draft is going to flow. So that 11 wide receivers could be 9 with 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends.
But in a perfect world, ideal roster construction.
2, 5, 11, and 2.
So I will say, and we'll get to you next, JC. Don't worry, I'm really curious to pick your brain because you're such a brilliant mind when it comes to fantasy football. Like you guys recall, we had B. Kurt earlier, and he was talking about roster construction, getting different kind of player combinations, and what makes you stand out in these drafts. So he said one way is roster construction, a different way is an approach. So based off of your approach and your approach alone, we know that the vast majority of the field is going to go either balanced or wide receiver heavy early on, right? So what you're doing here is you're giving yourself a unique advantage by coming up with the old school mentality and thought process, which is absolutely incredible. So I really do like that. JC, you're up and our draft is filled. We are ready to rock. So make sure you guys switch over to your drafts there. So JC, what are you looking for to accomplish here in this draft? You're okay. So we got Quasi at the 102, aka the 2-time. I got my vitamin water right here. Quasi won first and second place in one of these drafts not too long ago. Greg's at the 103. I like that.
I'm at the 6.
My man Chase is at yes, he's at JC's at my favorite spot to draft from, which is the 106. Mossy, a guy who's been absolutely incredible in a very, very strong draft, is at 107. Commissioner Rhino, he's at 108. I'm at the 110. My man Willie, 86, is at the 111. We got a bunch of disco balls in here, a bunch of sharks, a bunch of savages. I'm excited for a really, really strong draft. JC, what are you looking to accomplish here? What's your approach or your theology behind this?
Well, Greg did bring up quarterbacks, and I don't know if many people know this, but last year, I want to know if anybody does know it. I want to know if anybody knows how many quarterbacks started, had a starting position or started a NFL game last year, because it's definitely more than 32, and it's actually definitely more than 40, and it's definitely more than 50. 66 quarterbacks started a game last year. So that gives you an idea that quarterbacks don't stay healthy. It's something that I had an issue with. So I did pretty well. We do a best ball league, for dethrone the king league. And that's with Scott Angle, and the best ball, we got into issues where, quarterbacks are getting injured, and that's something that has really affected me in certain areas. So that's something that I'll probably look at later in the draft, is I'm going to start probably swooping some quarterbacks. But yeah, I like the approach, best player available. I don't go into it with a strategy for what positions I have to have, what round I have to draft them in, this and that. And I'm going to let the players fall to me. And if I see a player there that I like, and another thing for fantasy football for me is, I like to watch football. So I'm not just going to draft players that I don't like. I'm going to draft players that I want to watch and who I'm excited to watch. So when I get to that area where it's this or that, I'll make my decision on, who do I want to watch more than this person or that person, or who do I think is probably going to be more explosive or do this, that's kind of my strategy. I mean, I don't set up and say, all right, I'm going to have this many players at this position, this many players at that position. It's more of who is better at this position availability right now that I can draft.
For sure. And I will say, Greg, I love your first pick. He's my player number 1 in terms of my tier rankings.
Yeah,
of all positions.
I would have taken Christian, but the top wide receiver the top wide receiver was CeeDee Lamb, but top wide receivers don't repeat, and CeeDee Lamb was the top scoring wide receiver last year. So I'm going with the guy that I think will be the top scoring wide receiver because he's slightly rated ahead of the next two running backs. So I also had Brees Hall and Bijan Robinson queued up, but
Yeah, Brees is my guy, man. He's like my guy. Like I'm planting my flag on him this year. We saw what he did. I mean, they went out and drafted some running backs, and I think that's going to put a little bit of juice in his step too. He's like, "Nah, you ain't here to take my job, man. This is my job. I'm going to be the bell cow." And there's in this first round, there are like three. There's probably the only three bell cow backs that are almost left. I mean, you got Barkley and you got Jonathan Taylor, but I still think Brees is going to be a bell cow, especially on that offense. With a Aaron Rodgers who's not going to run.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like just to tail off of what you said. Last year, I was loving Brees Hall. This year, I love him even more. But I loved him based off of ADP. You were getting him at the end of fourth rounds in these basketball tournaments, so I got as much Brees Hall as I possibly could. And 32% of my winning lineups in the main tournament last year had Brees Hall in it, right? Because he was at such an incredible value.
Hey, you got to explain your first round pick before we get back.
Garrett Wilson?
Yeah.
I love Garrett Wilson.
Very simple. He has been primed for a breakout season forever. The only thing he's been missing is quarterback play. The only thing his quarterback play has been missing is offensive line. And both things should be there and present for him. So I'm taking a bet on Garrett Wilson going out and producing top wide receiver numbers. And I think having Drake London there is also a phenomenal pick because, if he can rekindle any sort of the magic that, Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson had, he has top 5 wide receiver upside, and I'm getting him at pick 15. So that's why I like my first two picks. But if it's all the same to you guys, or if there's anything else you guys would like to discuss, I could talk about my theology and my approach.
I just want to hit on Garrett Wilson a little bit. I mean, Garrett Wilson last year, I picked him to be the number 1 receiver to finish last year, but obviously that didn't happen because of Aaron Rodgers' injury. But Garrett Wilson, man, regardless of he is somebody that I'm going to talk about. There are players who are quarterback proof, and Garrett Wilson is 100% one of those players. He still did very good, put up very, very, very good numbers with like Mike White, who else? Zach Wilson, and then they had another third run wide receiver or quarterback that played, and he was still putting up numbers. He had probably 8 or 9 weeks where he at least did wide receiver 1, low end or high end wide receiver 2 numbers, and that value is still there, man. Especially, I mean, if Rodgers is healthy, sky's the limit for this kid.
Yep, I absolutely agree, and I think Mike Williams is not close to being healthy. I don't think he's a healthy football player. I mean, if we do see him, we're going to see him very, not frequently. That's for sure. Sporadically, so to speak. I think Malachi Corley is an athletic specimen, but he has yet to be like he's a work in progress. Like they need to refine his tools. So Garrett Wilson screams like the way we love Brees Hall based off of the opportunities is the same way I love Garrett Wilson. I also like Garrett Wilson a lot because it allows me to get a stack at a good quarterback. Same with Drake London at a good quarterback way later on in the draft. So I don't really have to panic about, getting 2 elite quarterbacks early on. I know that if I want a QB1, that I could start with an Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins and then get a couple of, guys who can have a spike week here and there after.
I followed up. I really wanted Derrick Henry in the second round to pair with Jamar Chase, but he went picked before me. So I went with Travis Etienne, who I'm not sold on, but I need to get a running back because they're going fairly quick. I mean, 4 running backs in the first round is kind of unusual right now. And then 5 in the second round. I could have taken Laporta here as a Lions fan. I would have liked to, but I just have a feeling Kelsey's going to go back to normal and be the top tight end. So I went with Kelsey.
I respect it. So far, like hearing, especially since we've mentioned this, like we spoke about this earlier, hearing like you coming in with a preconceived idea on how you want to draft. I'm like, how the hell is this going to work out? I don't know if this is going to go great. I don't know if it's going to go poorly. So far, it's a phenomenal start. You got Jamar Chase, you got Travis Etienne, you got Travis Kelce. You're off to a great start. So this is my favorite value. This is my absolute favorite value, Cooper Cup. So back to your draft. You're off to a phenomenal start. And I'm very curious to see how you do the rest of this draft. I know you're looking for a quarterback this next round. I'm not going to snipe you on a quarterback. I really want you to have your draft your way. Willie 86 is going with the RB heavy start, which I also really respect. But based on my theology, my approach, how I'm approaching these basketball drafts, I kind of do it in like 2 seasons, right? Post-draft season, I'm looking at players who are being slept on, players who are being pushed, who I can get at a tremendous value. And I think there's no other better player at that phenomenal value other than, well, the one you got, Travis Kelce, but I've been getting him sometimes in round 4. I expect him to be, come around August. I expect him to be going off the board late round 2, come August. Cooper Kupp has been the best value at wide receiver 3 in almost every one of these drafts. I know it's not going to last. I know he's going to be pushed up. So my theory is I try to get some sort of correlation, but I also try to get the people who are being slapped on who I think are going to have phenomenal seasons and are also going to jump in ADP in this tournament. So that's why I draft in May. That's why, you should draft in May as well, because, these values aren't going to last forever. So that's my theory. And I went all wide receivers for my first 4 picks.
Yeah, it's wild, man. I'm looking at ADP and I'm like looking at some of these players and I'm like, man, like I said, this is my first or second kind of, and I'm like, it's ugly to me. I'm like,
JC, I ignore ADP.
Yeah, I'm looking at
the players I want
at ADP and I'm like, it's weird. If people are really drafting that way, it is.
There's so many people drafting 0 running back that wide receivers are tending to go very early and very often.
Yep. And I'm one of those people. I'll be one of those people. I mean, I try to have a balanced approach in my drafts, but right now, because there's so much talent being pushed for, certain players going way too early, like Tank Dell.
Rookies. How are all these rookies so high? Like how?
You got
I got my stack.
You got a phenomenal start there. Jamar Chase, Travis Etienne, Travis Kelce, and you got the stack with Patrick Mahomes. And you can probably expect Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, and Marquise Hollywood Brown all to be available to you in the next couple of rounds. So you're sitting pretty. You know what? You are representing the old school, and you're doing it really well, and you're drafting really well. And so is the guy next to you, Quasi. Every draft I do with Quasi, he always has like one particular stack that he'll do for like 2 weeks, and then he'll change the stack. Right now, it's Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews. He gets them almost every single draft we do. I see you. And then if we look at my man JC's draft, Breece Hall, Mike Evans, Sam Laporta, Amari Cooper. So far, you guys both have a solid draft. I'm going Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens. So yeah, we're sitting pretty. We're well into this draft. We're into round 5 right now.
Now, I normally wouldn't take 2 quarterbacks back to back because Burrow is going in the 7th round.
Yeah.
But getting Kelce and Jalen Hurts virtually assures that every week I'm getting 20 plus points at that position.
Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, round 4 and 5. Like, I will take them at this value all day. I don't hate your start. You have 2 really strong quarterbacks, and you don't need a quarterback for the rest of the draft.
That's right. That's what that means. That means that now I can concentrate on the other 3 positions.
And I feel that move right there is you're going to notice in the next couple rounds, some people might start panicking at the quarterback position and start taking quarterbacks a lot earlier, which will push value potentially at other positions your way. So I think it's a hell of a chess move. I think it's an absolute phenomenal play. All right.
Yeah, it's wild to me to see Xavier Worthy, Keon Coleman, Adunze, McConkey, Brian Thomas, like all these players above Jordan Addison, who almost had 1,000. I mean, he was a beast last year, and his quarterback was injured half the season. He played with a bunch of nobodies.
And he's got the best rookie quarterback this year.
I don't get these ADP. The ADP must be taken off of like some other site.
Because this is true ADP. This is like on Underdog, it's the same thing. On DraftKings, it's the same thing.
So they're going off. They're all taking it off of some other site. Then they're basically taking, and which is right now. It's hard because it's dynasty season. So ADP is based off of dynasty right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it goes in phases, right? It really goes in phases, and that's why you want to take your values. Like I agree 100%. Jordan Addison in round 5 is an absolute phenomenal value, and that's why you draft in May. Right. So you can keep getting those values on your team so you can build unique correlation off of that, because come August, that's not going to be possible. Right. And I feel like too many people are slave to ADP, but ADP is important for one thing and one thing only. It's how can you get the best players overall on your team and abuse the fact that people are following this ADP currently, because this isn't final ADP. There's going to be maybe 15, 20 different ADPs by the time we hit the season. And that's why I love best ball, because you keep a pulse on everything that's going on the whole season from May all the way until the NFL season kicks off. So yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty phenomenal. I'm very curious because Xavier Worthy is sitting there, right? I see Xavier Worthy sitting there, and I know my man here, Greg, sorry, I don't know why I called you Ron. Greg is coming up. Never mind, Xavier Worthy's gone. Disregard.
Yeah, I was looking at him. You jinxed me.
I'm sorry.
You jinxed me.
He got auto picked.
I was actually going to go tight end here, but both Kincaid and Pitts went, so I don't feel like I can do that. But there's still some solid running backs, and I'm going to take a shot on a guy that's quite a bit ahead of where he should go in terms of ADP. But I like what I saw at the end of last year with him.
Josh Jacobs is gone now.
Well, yeah. I mean, to go based off of that, I think when the season's about to kick off, that'll be around where Zamir White's going to get drafted, maybe even around earlier, simply because, like, if you think about that approach, what we saw from Antonio Pierce as a head coach, they're going to be a ground and pound, tough, hard-nosed offense, and Zamir White showed that he's capable of not only outworking and outplaying Josh Jacobs, but he's capable of that workload and doing something with the opportunity he has. He was very efficient with the rock, so I think the only thing he's missing is that touchdown upside. So should he get that touchdown upside, he's going to be absolutely spectacular, and I think he's an absolute steal, and I think it's a great pick that you made there. You're back on the clock.
I know, but I can't find the player I want.
Who is it?
Najee Harris.
I think he's gone. Najee, you got him.
Yeah, I just got him.
Yeah, he got him. He just picked him.
Okay.
There's a search bar, too. You can use the search bar.
It's what I used to find him. I had seen him, but when I scrolled too far down. So this gives me 3 viable starting running backs with different bye weeks. So, if I can get a 4th running back that's got a different bye week that's a starter, I can probably stop until way late and then start focusing on the
Bro, snipe me on the auto draft.
What?
He's probably got his cue set. Damn, he sniped me. That's who I was trying to take right there, Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones?
I thought about Aaron Jones there. I really did. I just, again, rookie quarterback, and he's got a lot of mouths to feed.
Ugh, I am about to do this because I'm about to run out of time. I don't like it, but I like that he's going to be in an offense where he's going to be, he's probably going to get them. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know if I like that. I had to zig when I didn't want to yet.
All right, Mossy, show us what you got, buddy. You love bringing the clock down. Jake Ferguson, okay.
I'm not too mad about that pick. DeAndre Swift, I feel like he's going to be in a new position, a new team.
Same old injury history.
Anytime there's a rookie quarterback, I like having a running back that can catch the ball and kind of do a little bit of work back. And that backfield, we already know, was a huge mess last year.
I like your Kenneth Walker pick better.
I love Kenny Walker, dude.
Yeah.
I'm loving my
draft.
That
kid was dominant at Michigan State.
I'm loving my draft. Let's catch up with the chat, and then we'll start the first giveaway. Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah.
All right. So we got a bunch of W's because Greg is a generous human being. I like this comment right here. We should change his name to WREG because he's always winning. I like that a lot. Mahomes, Kelsey at the 3-4 turn, or give me death. That's what my man got. He got it. Quasi says Scott Fishbowl 14 for the win. Okay, now I need to say something. Since we're friends, right? We're friends, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
We're
cool.
family.
Yes. Why am I not in the Scott Fishbowl right now?
All right.
Well,
Well,
because Scott Fish has over 42,500 people requesting to get in. That's why you're not in yet.
Okay. So I mean, I know you guys, and I'm family. So like you guys, Scott.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
All we can do is shout you out. They have what I would recommend. The way I got in last year is by a race. They do 100-yard dashes. They do stuff on their show, and it's usually during the day. But last year, that's how I got on. This year, I got on because I've been volunteering a lot for them. I've been the Minnesota Live Draft. I've been volunteering to go out of my way, to pick stuff up for their draft and it's all, donations and stuff for the live draft so I've been doing a lot of that. So the big thing, man, is, charity, man. You're putting your time in, putting your work in, stuff like that, or maybe being available or shouting stuff out, being on their shows, stuff like that. That's how you get recognized. That's how you're going to get on. Or, luck of the draw.
Maybe one day. You got 2 seconds, brother. Oh no, did you auto?
No.
You got Joe Burrow. Okay, cool. Wendy says, "Hey y'all." Quasi says, she says, "Sup fam." Quasi says, "ADP this early is based on rookie hype, looking for the next Jefferson." True, and I think that's a tremendous value as well. Quasi says he loves getting Godwin at 71. Jerry Bagshaw, what's up, brother? He says, "Good luck all." Wendy says, "Hey Jerry," and Quasi says, "If you want in on the Scott Fishbowl, either a giveaway or post retweet." Okay, noted.
Yeah.
Plus, I did. The moment JC told me about it, I made sure I signed up. But one of these days, I'll be on the level of JC and Greg, and be invited into the Scott Fishbowl annually. It's like a very exclusive club. I really want to be part of the club. Why am I not? Enough for the Scott Fish Club. Anyways, let's talk about giveaway. All right. So, JC, tell me about so you're the co-founder of the sports affiliation, right? Yeah. So our giveaway for the first one is if people type hashtag sports affiliation like so. If you put hashtag sports affiliation, and if you're watching on Twitter, please jump on over into the YouTube channel, because this is the only way you can enter, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You guys have between now and the beginning of round 13, pick 145 to put hashtag sports affiliation to enter our giveaway. So why don't you two folks tell me about sports affiliation? We'll start with you, JC.
So sports affiliation, let me get my pick first. It's up next. Let me just real quick find someone to grab here. I didn't like my last pick. But eighth round for Joe Burrow, I'm not too mad at it. I don't like a lot. They're, like you said, the receivers, man, they get really swamped up. They really got eaten up.
Yep.
That's okay. We'll find some value here real quick. Screw it. You know what? I'll go Khalil Shakir. He got a big opportunity here now to be a number one on the team. So it might as well in the 9th round, a potential wide receiver 1 on the team. Never know.
There's a lot of vacated targets. We got a lot of sports. Quasi's entered the giveaway. Jerry Bagshaw has entered the giveaway. Everybody's spamming sports affiliation. Keep it coming, folks. The Worst Sports Channel has entered the giveaway. Mossy's entered the giveaway. 2 Fat Guys has entered the giveaway. Ty has entered the giveaway. Ale has entered the giveaway. Wendy's entered the giveaway. Willie's entered the giveaway. And guys, please make sure you subscribe to the sports affiliation on YouTube. It's great content. They have great quality stuff coming up all the time. But that's enough of me talking about the sports affiliation. Let's hear it from the people themselves, the 2 people who are part in the start. JC, talk to me about the sports affiliation. Tell me about it.
So the whole reason for the sports affiliation, the whole reason we kind of decided to make our own, kind of brand is because, Iggy and I, this is kind of how Iggy and I met. We were working for some and I won't name any names, but we were working for somebody, and it was a bad situation, man. Like, you're gonna just working for some people, and either they're very greedy, or they're very negative, or they're very pushy, or they're very this and that, all about them. And it gets to a point where you're like, it doesn't feel comfortable. Sports and fantasy sports should be, fun for everyone, right? We should all be having fun. It's a game, right? Why are you playing a game if you're not having fun? And I felt like the negative environments, like, again, we got into another, and Iggy and I kind of moved on from that. We went to another area that kind of took us in, and it was great and all, but then, there was a lot of bullying, there was a lot of this and that, and it's just like, this is not for me, man. I want to be in an environment where I can feel safe. I can feel like, in a good area. Sports is fun, camaraderie is fun. Like, you can talk smack and have fun like that, and it doesn't have to be negative or personal. Like, and that's the whole area. I was like, I want to build a community to where we can have fun. Everybody can be included in a positive environment, and that's kind of how the sports affiliation kind of came about. And it's just grown, and this came out. I think we really, really started it this past. Hold on, let me just grab. I'm just gonna have to just grab somebody quick. I'll just grab Brock Purdy. I don't like it, but it is what it is. I'm clicking. All right, yeah. This is our second year. So last year in about January, February, I think end of February is when we kind of started it, and it's just grown. It's grown into a great. We met some really, really, really good people. We met Greg this past year at the expo, and it was just, I feel what our community does is we're like a magnet. It's weird because Anthony Fish, these are two people that I met at the expo as well, and they were just like, sucked right to us, and I feel like that's the kind of environment we want to implement. That's the kind of environment we want to help people be a part of. And if myself or Iggy or anybody in the sports affiliation can help anybody, grow what they're trying to be, if they have like a label or brand that they're trying to grow, and we can help, we're all about that. Like, we bring people in, we try to, luckily, Greg found Wendy and Carla. I mean, I met Wendy through our friend Jemo, and we became, best friends through that. And then, I met them at the expo, and then Greg, he brought them in, and we created a show for them. And that show, now they're on the next episode will be episode 37. They do a show every week. And Greg and Tip, they've been doing a show every week. So, like I said, our whole brand is supposed to be about, positivity and inclusiveness. That's what our whole brand is built off of. So we don't like bullies. I can't. It's one of my biggest pet peeves is people who think that they're better than others. And I think that, I try to show that by the way that I, put myself off is like, I'm just like everybody else. Like, I'm not anybody's boss, I'm not anybody's anything, I'm here to be on an equal playing field as anybody else. And I just want to be here to have fun. And if we can grow a great community from that, then I'm all for it. That's the sports affiliation. That's our brand.
So we have a saying where I'm from, and like Zach Randolph said it as well. So I'm not going to take full credit, but where I'm from, the bullies get bullied. Right, we take care of the people who need to be taken care of. You treat everybody with respect and dignity, and I feel that even though I'm not like officially a member of the sports affiliation, like officially, I feel like you guys are family. You guys are all, welcome to my show. To like, you guys can come over and break bread. Greg and my wife yesterday spoke on the phone together. Greg and I were supposed to talk about fantasy football in the show, and Greg and my wife ended up talking about cows because my wife thinks that everybody in Texas, she doesn't actually think this, but she was hoping that he'd have a ranch. So she wanted to know if he had a ranch so we could go visit him in Texas. But like that's how I know you guys are family, right? Because he's like, he wanted to get to know my wife before talking business, and it's a family experience, and that's why I really mess with you guys. You guys are absolutely incredible. Beautiful.
Olivia is an angel.
100%.
I'm telling you,
is an angel. She puts up with not only disco but me on the phone. So yeah. She is an angel.
Yeah, better than I deserve. That's for sure. Better than I deserve. I'm so grateful for her. She's. I mean, I tell people this all the time. Life didn't start until I met her. I'm super grateful for her, and I'm super grateful for you guys in the sports affiliation. And you guys still have one round till pick 144 to enter the giveaway by spamming hashtag the sports affiliation. So can you, JC, can you tell us what to expect next from the sports affiliation? Why people should go subscribe right now, like not now, but now to the sports affiliation on YouTube? Because what's coming up next?
So as everybody knows, I got my shirt on tonight. I just had to go pick this up, the Bring Your Ass shirt. This is the Minnesota, like the big thing that we're doing right now. It's the Timberwolves, man. I'll be covering the Timberwolves. I've been doing that as long as they keep going. I'm gonna be covering them. But we do a watch party. It's real fun. You know, literally, I hop on. I'll have the game on watching. I mean, I can't stream it onto my computer because literally YouTube will shut us down.
It's illegal. Yes.
But I call the game. I play by play of the game. It's all about having fun. Anybody can come in and talk questions. It's not just basketball. If anybody wants to come in and talk fantasy football, I'm on for that too. So dang it, Nick Chubb again, dude. I keep getting sniped a couple picks before who I want to get. I mean, just people.
You didn't want Nick Chubb.
Oh yeah, I did.
No, he's never going to be the same.
He's gonna be the same.
Achilles.
After what?
Compared to everybody here that's left, it's disgusting. All right, I'll take my next tight end. I'll take TJ Hawkinson, who's still sitting here for some reason.
No, because he's not going to play for half the year.
I think we'll be back after week 6. Maybe.
I'm fine with that.
Let's catch up with the chat. We got some really awesome chit chats here. We got more hashtag sports affiliation. Wendy said, and I think this is really cool. The reason I joined TSA is because they treat women the same as everyone. Plus, my best friend JC. I agree. I mean, they treat everybody equally, and everybody should be treated equal. Screw you, Harrison Butker. Adrian says, "Love that story. You got yourselves a fan for sure." This is my buddy. This is part of Big Draft Energy. He's the man behind the scenes. He's the man who always advises me correctly. So shout out to Adrian. You're a great dude. God bless you. I love you. Jerry Bagshaw says, "Great people, great advice, even better friends." The expo is going to be wild. Are you coming to the Fantasy Football Expo? Big Draft Energy. I am 100% coming to the Fantasy Football Expo. Yes. I'm going to be doing some drafter stuff, some giveaways for drafters. We're going to have a Fantasy Expo specific promo code where if you sign up using promo code Disco Drafts 1, or sorry, it's just promo code Disco. We changed the promo. If you just sign up using promo code Disco, if you make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, you'll get a free ticket on the house to the big tournament right here, and we get to draft together over there. So I'm really looking forward to representing my brand and drafters, because when you talk about Big Draft Energy and Disco, it's synonymous with drafters fantasy.
Did you get a booth?
I spoke to Bob Lung, and I have a booth, but I want the booth to be next to you guys or part of your booth. Like
I was gonna say, if you didn't have one, you could have just literally. I mean, I don't know if you've paid for one yet, but if you haven't, I mean, you could literally sit at our booth.
we'll definitely discuss it. Yeah, I really appreciate
it. You might not feel officially a part of. You're part of the sports affiliation, so
thank you. I have been knighted. Thank you for welcoming me.
You are 100% a part of us, brother.
I just need a triple XL long shirt, and I'm good. Greg, I just wanted to say I'm very upset because the reason why I pushed running back value so late is because of that last running back you just took. I really need to start getting exposure there, and you got him, and I wanted him, and I really like the way your draft is going, right? So we've talked about, theology, but like it's time to finally see the theology come into place. So I'm going to pull up Greg's draft here, and Greg, take us through it. Talk to me. How do you feel about Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Travis Etienne, Zamir White, Najee Harris, Blake Corum, Kamani Vidal, Jamar Chase, Tyler Lockett, Mike Williams, Troy Franklin, Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert? Where are you?
I had one pick that they sniped me, so I ended up with Troy Franklin. But, that's the way it goes in these drafts. You're always going to lose people that you wanted to get, especially when you have an early pick or a late pick, and then there's that big gap between picks. So I've got my eye on a player that I think just went. Yep. And was it you that took him? Yep, you took my boy. He was my next pick. So you got him.
Oh,
I
man.
didn't think you would take him because it's ahead of his ADP, and you don't usually do that.
Jermaine Burton is like last year. I said I'm a Laporta supporter in May, and I said Laporta supporter, tight end number one. I know Jamar Chase is going to be wide receiver number one, but Jermaine Burton is going to outperform T. Higgins. So the fact that I'm getting him at pick 154 all day, every day, and next year we'll be seeing Jermaine Burton currently where T. Higgins is. So I'm very, very high on Jermaine Burton. I love the opportunity. I love the 19 yards per reception that he produced when he was in university, predominantly at Bama. Obviously, he played at Georgia, but didn't really get much opportunity there. He's a speedster. He should have been a first-round value, but he had a bunch of red flags as just somebody who had made some questionable decisions, which we all did when we were young. But with that being said, I think Jermaine Burton is super talented and very slept on. And the best thing that could have happened to Jermaine Burton did happen, and that is Tyler Boyd going to the Tennessee Titans. So I'm all in on Jermaine Burton. I really am. Greg, I like Polk. So what are you looking to do here with the rest of your draft? Where do you feel like you're strong right now, and where do you feel like you need to really finish strong?
Well, I've got 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends. I'm done with them because I've got good ones for both.
Correct.
I've got
and you got stacks for both.
I got stacks for both. And in best ball, I don't have to figure out which one to play which week. So that works out for me. The tight ends can be used as flex, but I'm not looking for. I'm expecting to start 3 running backs every week. I'm not as strong at running back as I normally am, but I got 2 kids that could both finish as running back once. Corum and Vidal are both capable of finishing as RB1. And I'm expecting Najee Harris to have a return to his rookie year type situation. So now I'm just taking shots on wide receivers that can have a big game. I'm not really even concerned about, them having consistent games, which is why I'm doing Javon Baker to go with Polk. This way, I get one of whichever rookie that the quarterback goes to, Drake May goes to, whoever he develops a rapport with, I got it. Now, that when you do a handcuff like that, it limits your upside. But again, I only want to start 3 wide receivers each week. I do not want to start the flex as a wide receiver.
Well, it gives you a very safe floor. So I'm going to ask you another question, and then we'll go to you, JC, and talk to you about your draft.
This dude.
Oh, you just got sniped again.
Again, dude, this guy sniped me 3 times now.
It's fine. You don't want Baker Mayfield.
I want him for my stack.
You don't want Baker Mayfield this season. I promise you. Whoever's the backup, you're better off taking in the last round. So you believe that Polk and Baker are both going to outperform Demario Douglas later on?
Demario Douglas been in the league for a while. He hadn't really shown anything.
No, he was a rookie last year.
Yeah, well, what did he show?
Let's be honest. Nobody on that offense showed anything other than Hunter Henry. That offense was absolutely terrible. He didn't have a great situation in scenario.
I'm not sure which of these 2 rookies is going to start, but I'm sure one of them will, and possibly 2 of them.
Fair. I'm all in on Demario Douglas this year. I was all in on him last year. I'm all in on him again this year. Let's catch up with the chat, then we'll get to you and your draft there, JC. We'll call this one the draft that JC was sniped. Hussein says, "Hey, Big Draft Energy, thanks so much for streaming, brother. And can you tell JC to let me know how to join the league? I would love to hop in, and let's go 49ers." Awesome, buddy. Awesome. Just follow JC Money Design on Twitter. He's very active. He responds to all of his followers. Super awesome. Glad to hear that. That's awesome, Disco. Willie, you want to come? Come to the expo. It'll be really fun. Guys, I've been dormant for so long. You don't even know. I'm bringing my old self to the expo. Party Jack is coming. Disco doesn't think, but Disco will be your designated driver.
Disco.
Good. Do I want another running back here, or do I want to go? I'll go with another running back here. I'll take Roshan. I believe DeAndre Swift is gonna be an absolute bust. I don't think Khalil Herbert's it. I think Roshan, we're gonna see him, a little bit later in the year, and he's gonna ball and he's gonna be a really, really, really good running back. I feel like we're gonna get the same thing from DeAndre Swift that we got from Miles Sanders last year in Carolina. That's my take, and I'm sticking to it. That's my belief.
I
Oh,
don't know.
we got 40 people 41 people tuning in. Shout out to all of you beautiful folks looking at us draft. Okay. Let's go. Jax is Jerry Backshaw. I'm booked at the Doubletree already. I'm booked for draft nights with IBT. Also, I'm signed up with the FFAN for awesome. You're all I need to start doing some stuff there. I like the Hunter Hurst Henry pick, HHH. I love the Triple H reference there. Good wrestling.
Who's this Chase guy that keeps taking up his whole clock?
That's me.
I know.
All I know is
I haven't. I have to get you. Like it's all different for me. This is my first. I mean, I'm gonna tell you. I probably used drafters 3 or 4 times in my whole life.
Wendy said, since you started talking about Burton, I can never get him. I honestly, the first stream I did, I talked about Jermaine Burton, and I never saw him again. So when I do see him, I'm snagging him. Sir Football says, I'm on Expo designated driver standby 2. Awesome. Do not drink and drive ever. Not even now. Not at the Expo. This is kind of random, but man, big draft. And JC, you guys got some nice beards. How long did that take to grow? I was born with this. I'm Middle Eastern. Like we come up the womb with a beard.
Disco. If you're gonna drink and drive, make sure you're drinking the dew.
Mountain Dew.
That's right.
I do love me some Mountain Dew. I'll tell you that much. I love me some Mountain Dew.
I've been growing mine since my beard. I've been growing mine since I got out of the military. It was more of a spite to, I had to shave every single day. So after that, I was never shaving again. 2014.
Fair enough. And thank you for your service, sir. Make your next pick, and then we're going to look at your team. All right. I need to know where you feel like you're happy with, where you feel like you did good, where you want to improve on in future drafts, and where you'd like to finish. What were you looking to do to finish?
Where I had somebody queued up. Somebody snipe him?
No, if he's not in your queue, they did.
No, he's still there. This is my guy. This is somebody that I really, really liked last year, and somebody I put on my taxi squads. He has showed ability. A.T. Perry. Yeah, I absolutely love this kid.
I see the ceiling there for sure.
I love this kid.
So far, you got 2 quarterbacks. Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy.
I'm gonna say so. My picks, a lot of my picks were just pick. So my running backs though. So I'm not excited about Swift as much. I love Breece Hall. Let me see. Let me pull my team up so you'd be good. Hold on. So my roster, so Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker, these are like my guy. I'm planting flags on these 2 players. I went Mike Evans for sure because Mike Evans is a 1,000-yard receiver. It's like a guaranteed 1,000 yards every year. So why not? Amari Cooper, I think he has a good bounce back year. I mean, he is still the receiver 1 on that team. It just really depends on what happens with, who's going to be playing quarterback. I mean, is it Deshaun? Is Deshaun healthy? Is Deshaun? Jordan Addison, I felt him fall. He fell, man. So getting him there, I like that a lot. And Khalil Shakir is another guy I like. I mean, I'm fine. My receivers, I like my receiver room a lot. My swings, like Jacoby Myers, Adam Thielen, he's old, but he's the guy. He's it. I mean, they drafted the same guy that they already had there. Xavier Leggett's the same as who's the guy that was there before. That got drafted last year.
Jonathan Mingo.
They're the same player. They're exactly the same.
And Jonathan Mingo
that doesn't take away from Thielen. Thielen's still going to get the same amount of targets. I mean,
Jonathan Mingo is going undrafted, and I feel like that's a crying shame. I feel like he's a tremendous value this year. But carry on.
Yeah, I mean, I like my receivers and I like my tight ends. Running backs, I like my top 2 running backs, Swift and Elijah Mitchell. If something happens to CMC, we've seen him already do stuff. Like we know he's good. So that being there, I'm happy with that. Burrow and Purdy. Like I said, I was going to draft another quarterback just because of Burrow's injury history, but I can draft somebody late if I need to.
I can tell you right now, you better pick another running back out of that San Francisco backfield, or you're going to get sniped by one Mr. Disco.
I do like me some Isaac Garango. I will say that. But just looking at my roster construction, I think I'm okay at running back. I definitely have a lot of guys with good value, I think, and a lot of unproven guys who are tending to go under the radar in my running back room. So I'll just pull up my roster right now. We got our quarterback situation is dire, so we definitely need a third quarterback. Hopefully, we can get a Gardner Minshew. We got Tua Tagovailoa. We got Justin Fields. Running back, we got James Cook, who is absolutely a tremendous running back in PPR. His only knock is in the red zone. He disappears. So Ray Davis is a great value. If you guys have Ray Davis currently in your dynasty and he's a free agent there, by all means, go pick up Ray Davis. He is going to be a touchdown machine. Trey Benson, I know for a fact that James Conner is going to go down with an injury at some point this year, right? To what caliber of injury is it going to be? I don't know. Hopefully it's nothing significantly. Hopefully he stays healthy. But I'm not banking on that simply based off of the trend of him constantly being hurt, and the likelihood of him re-aggravating something is all the way up there. He's probably the most likely to have a re-aggravation to an injury this year. So Trey Benson, who's also one of my favorite running backs coming into this draft, is in a prime position with a really good offense, up-and-coming offense as well, to really produce at a high level, and I got him at a great value. So he has running back, top 5 running back upside post James Conner going down. And we know that James Conner is going to go down eventually. So hopefully it just correlates to, having 2 strong running backs at all time. Chase Brown, he's one of the most efficient running backs in terms of touching the rock when it comes to football, fantasy football. Yes, they got 29-year-old Zach Moss. Yes, Zach Moss is a very good player. But I feel like Chase Brown is very undervalued and should start being pushed up these draft boards early and often, because God forbid anything does happen to Zach Moss, who's also been proven to be injury prone. The efficiency, the opportunity, and being not just a great athlete in the run game, but also phenomenal and very trustworthy in the pass game. Chase Brown is tremendous. Jerome Ford, as of now, is the starting running back in Cleveland. So the fact that I got him in pick 130 round, what pick did I get him in? There's 130. Round 12? I got him in round 11. I got an RB, a starting running back, a reliable as my 4th running back in round 11. That's the value I'm looking for. That's why I draft in May, and that's why you guys should sign up using promo code DISCO to draft in May. And then, my other 2 running backs, they got upside, I guess. They're more of a handcuff situation. But I think where I really excel is my wide receivers. Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, Ladd McConkey, Jameson Williams, Jermaine Burton. Like, come on now. That's a great room. And then Kyle Pitts, I'm really high on him. I wish I could have gotten a stack with both Kyle Pitts and Drake London with Kirk Cousins, but it is what it is. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I like my draft. I like what I did. So if we're looking at new school versus old school, I think old school came here and they represented. They did a really, really good job. They really did. They came in with a plan, which is very weird. Like, people typically don't come in here with a plan, and you did, and you capitalized and you made that plan work. I think you're drafted really well. I think JC dealt with the most adversity this draft. That's for sure. He got sniped time and time again.
Yeah, time and time again.
But
that's okay. That's okay.
But you pivoted, and you did a hell of a job pivoting. So all in all, I think all 3 of us drafted well. I think what it'll come down to is, when the season's over, who's drafted better. I think Willie had a great draft. I know for a fact Quasi had a great draft, and I know Mossy had a great draft, and so did Commissioner Ron. Commissioner Ron tries to be super modest by saying, like, oh, I'm new to this basketball thing. You draft like an absolute beast. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun talking to you guys and doing this on the show. I know I haven't been super active with the chat today. Typically, I'm way more active with the chat, so I apologize. We're going to call the first giveaway, and then between now and, let's say, 5 minutes, we'll do the second giveaway, and we'll go hashtag drafters, like so. So for the second ticket giveaway, put hashtag drafters and you'll enter the second giveaway.
Hey, and I want to thank everybody that showed up tonight.
Absolutely.
We were trying to get Disco his largest audience. I don't know what the total count has been. Did we get over 43?
We hit 43 at one point. Currently, we're at 40, which is absolutely like I don't. I think the difference between this year and last year, and I'm very grateful for everybody who's ever tuned in and supported me. I think the biggest difference for me this year and that last year is like I'm just focused on having fun with the people who are here.
Yeah.
And I really do appreciate you guys showing up in full force. And, we hit 43 at one point. We're at 40 right now. It's absolutely incredible. Yes, people are spamming drafters. People want to get into this giveaway. It was super awesome, super, super cool of you guys to push that for me, especially yesterday on your show, Greg. I was very touched by you taking the time out of having such a spectacular, well-known name in the fantasy football world to shout me and my channel out. Meant the absolute world to me. It's super nice to me, and you guys are absolute family. And this has been really nice. And I've been talking about getting JC on stream forever now, so I'm glad that we can finally pull it off. And I had a good draft. I had a great draft, a really, really good draft. I'm happy with my draft. And
JC, you know why he wanted you and me on this thing.
To beat up on
Figures that's two less competitors he's got to worry about.
No. Great joke for sure. Great joke. I just respect the hell out of you guys. Honestly, I respect the hell out of you guys, and I appreciate the theology and approach that you guys bring to fantasy football and to life. You guys are good friends. You guys are good people, and you guys are easy to talk to about football and life and everything in general. And I'm very excited to meet you guys in person. And hopefully this is something we can do, not once again, but many more times for many years to come. So I really had a blast. Thank you guys for coming in. So we'll announce the winners shortly. But before we announce the winners, is there anything that you guys want to let people know to look forward to based off of things that you guys are working on and partnerships that you guys are working on or anything like that? What's your final message to the folks tonight?
Oh, tonight, have fun. This should be fun. If it's not fun for you, don't do it.
Yep.
Have fun and treat people with respect.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that.
100%.
Because at the end of the day, you don't really know what's going on with that person. So we talk about mental health issues. Mental health is a huge thing. Mental health awareness, being aware of your surroundings is huge, huge thing. Seeing the signs. Not everyone's going to ask for help. They'll start saying things, or you'll see something that seems off. Like, reach out to that person. If they're your friend or you're just somebody that you talk to on a, not even a day-to-day basis, but it's somebody, something just seems kind of off, reach out to that person. Just say, hey, is everything okay? I'm here for you. I love you, just be that person that steps up, but, I had a blast tonight, man. I got to pick one of my favorite players last, Jerick McKinnon. I just always like to have him on my team. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I want to call out Surf Football. I want to get you in my chat. I saw one of the things, if you're going to the expo, you should be watching Bob Lung's podcasts. Because he's highlighting the people, including JC was on one of his podcasts. Surf Football's got some games coming out soon. And it's fantasy related, but it's not quite fantasy the way we know it. So Surf Football, I want to get you on the podcast sometime. Reach out to me on Twitter.
We got another good comment here saying, Hussein here says, I have to agree with you guys. Their mental health is super important, especially men's mental health. We don't really like discussing about it as much. Men, women, everybody, honestly, children, like we got to look at it this way. And this may be off topic of fantasy football, but let's be honest. We just went through a really weird time with COVID, like not too long ago. That was very stressful on humanity in general. And humanity is still under a lot of stress. I'm personally dealing with, a lot of personal, tragedy being a Palestinian and, what's going on back there. But I don't really want to get too much into that. But like, just check up on people. Just be nice to people on a daily basis. You guys have no idea how much of a difference that really does make. And it costs you nothing to be kind. It really does cost you nothing to be kind.
And it pays dividends.
It does. It really does. Honestly, it's good for the soul, and that's the best kind of payment you can get is that good stuff for the soul. So I appreciate you guys for being, absolutely phenomenal, wonderful human beings. I am excited to introduce you to a shawarma, JC, because you thought a gyro, a gyro, a Greek gyro was a shawarma, and it's not, and you deserve better, my friend. So I'm excited to treat you to shawarma.
Thank
Bob
you.
Lung does tell me there's a shawarma there, so that's on me.
What about falafel? Is falafel different?
Falafel could be Greek or could be, but I'm waiting for the wife to send me who won the second giveaway. But as of now, the winner of the first giveaway. The winner of the first giveaway is this guy. Two Fat Guys Fantasy Football. You've won your ticket. Make sure you shoot me a DM, and I'll make sure that your ticket goes towards you.
Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony's popped by so many times. Olivia.
Hey, I also wanted to mention to Hussein, he never did follow me on Twitter, so I can't follow him.
Hussein, make sure you follow Gregory L. Kellogg on the Twitterverse. All right, I'm gonna do the randomizer for the second one right now.
I'd like to get access to those tools B. Kurt has.
So here's a cool thing. Here's a cool story about B. Kurt's tools. Okay, when he won first place, he was not using his tools. He was walking his dog. So the tools are very good. It's very cool to see where you have, where you have correlation and ownership to. But I don't think the tools are end all be all. I think you can make your own charts and it'll go really good. But if you do want to get the tools, just look at the folks on Spike Week, and
they just sounded cool. That's all.
And they'll hook you up. All right. So the winner of the second giveaway is Ale. Ale, make sure you contact me. Same with you, Two Fat Guys, Anthony. Contact me on Twitter. Shoot me a DM. Let me know. Just contact me. Let me know that it was you guys that won, and I will make sure that your tickets go to you. Yeah, man.
And JC has a watch party tonight, right, JC?
Yes. Yes. When's that starting?
Basketball.
Bring your ass.
It's basketball, so
Hey,
yeah.
Minnesota is playing in the playoffs. It's a big deal, okay?
If it ain't the Pistons, I don't care.
Well, that's it for tonight's show. You guys have a very safe long weekend over there for your May 2-4 weekend. Everybody who's tuning in now and whenever, have a very safe May 2-4 weekend. Many blessings, and we'll see you guys back here 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Share this with your friends. Let's get him some views tomorrow.
I appreciate that. And until next time, you folks have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Bye now.
Thanks, Disco.